This is a video by Richmond. Today we're working on a Saturn S series. This is a Gen 2, which is 96 to 99. And what we're doing today is we are troubleshooting the cooling fan system. A lot of questions I get on the cooling system is my car is overheating and the fan is not coming on. What's wrong? Well, the most common thing, especially on these Saturns, is the coolant temp sensor. So what you can do to check, to see if it's working properly, is disconnect the connector from the sensor, start up the vehicle, and then the fan will come on. The computer, of course, what it's doing is it's sensing that the sensor isn't connected, so it's just turning the fan on to try to protect the engine from overheating. So what we're going to do now is we're going to disconnect the connector from the sensor. Just like that. Now we're going to start the engine up, and that fan should come on. Fan came on. So what that told us was that most likely that the coolant temp sensor was faulty if the fan came on and wasn't coming on when it was connected to the sensor. And what that eliminated was all the wires going back to the computer, and then the wires coming from the computer to the fan relay, and all the wires from the fuse box to the fan and then the fan motor. So the most likely culprit here is the coolant temp sensor and its connector. You got to look very closely at the connector. Let me show you. You want to inspect the connector very closely. Those two holes right there, look for corrosion. If there's corrosion, well, that's going to be your problem also. So you'd want to change the electrical connector and the sensor. But Rich, my fan didn't come on. Wow, okay. Let's test that. Now to check the motor, we need to disconnect the electrical connector from the motor. Black wire is ground, light blue wire is live. I'm going to use a fuse so I can tap into it. I've pushed it into the light blue wire. Now we need to take our multimeter, put it on the DC voltage scale, and we'll clip our red wire to our fuse right here that we put in the light blue wire. Now we want to leave the connector off the coolant temp sensor and start it up. And then we're going to probe the other end of the connector with our negative probe, and we should see voltage on the scale. Let's start it up. And we see voltage. So if you do see voltage and the fan is not working, well, that's your problem right there. Fan motor is shut. Now be warned, if you don't have a problem like this one did not, it will set a check engine light. I believe the code was P0117. It was a low temp code, but after driving the vehicle a couple of miles, the computer wiped out the code, so there's no problem there. So hopefully this will help in finding a no fan condition on your Saturn S series.